Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about Doctor Who Series 9, Episodes 5 and 6, which is The Girl Who Died and The Woman Who Lived. Um, so, a lot of people love these episodes, a lot of people hate these episodes. I'm somewhere in the middle. I enjoyed them. They're not the best episode of the season, but they're definitely better than, like, Sleep No More. But when you are preceded by Last Christmas, the Davos 2 portal, and the Under the Lake 2 portal, it's expected that people kind of have their hopes up, but I think these stories are pretty decent. If they were in the Shurigawa era, people would be like, "Oh my god, this is the best episode ever." Since they're in a season that has like some of the best episodes, people seem to dismiss them. But I enjoyed them. So the girl who died kind of starts off like a normal Doctor Who episode, kind of your run-of-the-mill filler episode. It's the Vikings, the Doctor and Clara are in the Viking era, and these robots from space come and try to kill them all for some arbitrary reason. So Doctor kind of works with the Vikings to you know, try to scale them off because the Vikings are too strong to just run away. No, 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 no. The Doctor has to help them save themselves. It also kind of delves deeper into Clara's obsession with like becoming like the Doctor. Had hints of this in like Flatline or Under the Lake, but I feel like it's a lot more prevalent in this episode, where she kind of like does what the Doctor does and tells him to go away, but then Arya Stark kind of jumps in and is like, "No, we'll fight you." They have no chance of winning. Between like the Doctor and Clara, since they're both very arrogant and like have this savior mentality, it unintentionally creates this toxic relationship, which I appreciate. I really like when the Doctor and his slash her companions have conflicts between each other. It just makes for better storytelling. Like, it doesn't have to be like this toxic, abusive one, like, the Doctor and Perry, but it's still, a little, a little conflict is I think it works. The point in which the episode stops being a fun throwaway episode and kind of becomes like a important episode is when Ishildo becomes me. She becomes immortal, and the Doctor's decision making is rash, but it comes at a very emotional time for him, because I love that speech to Clara where he says, he's so sick of losing, and one day is going to come where he loses her, and the thought of her will become too unbearable that he won't be able to breathe. That's foreshadowing for episode 11, of course, but that's such a dramatic moment by Capaldi and Coleman. I love that. And of course, when he looks in his reflection and he finally remembers why he chose that face, because he saved uh, Peter Capaldi back in season 4 when during the Pompeii episode. It's a great callback. The music is fantastic. It's really nice that like Donna's kindness has influenced him all these centuries later. I love that moment too. He decides like, fuck it, I'm gonna save her, and she becomes immortal, which kind of is where we leave off this episode. And the Doctor's like, I don't know if I made the right decision. Only time will tell. And then the next episode, not really a part two, but it's linked to this one thematically, which is why I'm making these, one video instead of two. He meets her again, hundreds of years later, I assume. I'm not really sure on the timeline because I'm not a big English history buff. I'm sure they said it, but it's Ashildor slash me slash Arya Stark again, and they have this adventure where they kind of come to terms with like she resents the Doctor because he saved her. She doesn't want to live forever. She went through heartbreak of losing her children and losing everybody she loved. So it's she definitely took immortality very hard. So did Jack Harkness, but I think Jack's a little bit better with coping with it than Ishildor is. It would have been interesting to see them have a conversation, like if you have Jack show up and I don't know, just have them discuss how they feel being immortal. That would have been a good opportunity. Instead of Sleep No More, we could have just had an episode like that. but whatever. As for the woman who lives plot itself, pretty forgettable. You know, I don't really remember much about it. Even upon rewatch, like I've seen this episode again like a couple days ago, and I still don't remember much about it. Kind of a throwaway one. They have that guy who comes back to life, and you think like they kind of imply like, oh, he's gonna be a bigger character, and it's like, not really. He's never seen or mentioned again, so I guess he just dies. The high points of that episode are definitely like her and the doctor's conversations about like his recklessness and how that might affect Clara in the future. We don't really see Clara much in the episode, but she gives a strong presence. Despite not being in it, she's mentioned a lot, and it kind of foreshadows what's going to happen to her later in the season. And I think that's a smart angle to go with. We see her at the end of the episode, and when she does come at the end, it's like a breath of fresh air because, like, finally somebody who loves the doctor, and that hug between them is really sweet too. And then he sees like that, oh, your stalker's still watching them, which kind of looming over them like this threat. Though of course he isn't like the biggest threat in the season, but still. Um, Pretty enjoyable two-parter, very thought-provoking, but also the plots are pretty forgettable. Let me know what you guys thought of this down in the comments below, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.